Eva? No. Eva, why are you here? Get out. Tell her to get out right now. Don't look at me.
The scream ripped through the heavy, expensive air of room 412, a jagged sound of a woman watching her entire world dissolve in a single, freezing moment. The oak door had swung open with a sickeningly smooth click, and the golden hallway light spilled in like a spotlight on a crime scene. She was scrambled against the velvet headboard, her skin flushed, her hair a chaotic, matted mess across the silk pillows. She was completely and utterly naked, stripped of every shred of the dignity she'd spent 7 years pretending to have. There wasn't a single thread of that pale pink silk camisole to cover her shivering form. It was lying in a crumpled heap near the minibar, tangled with a stranger's gray trousers and a bottle of wine that I had indirectly paid for. Her lover was frantically clawing at a decorative pillow to hide himself, his face a ghostly, sickly shade of white. But she wasn't looking at me. Her eyes were fixed on the woman standing right beside me. Eva, my senior sales director, the woman she had spent years obsessively envying, the woman she claimed was too perfect and trying to steal her husband. To be caught like this, raw, exposed, and caught in the act, while her greatest rival looked on with a mix of cold pity and professional boredom, was a social execution far worse than any divorce court could offer.
I'm sorry you had to witness such a cliché, but look at it this way. At least you don't have to wonder what she was doing during her spiritual break anymore. She wasn't seeking clarity. She was seeking this room, and it looks like she found exactly what she was looking for.
Eva didn't look away. She let her gaze sweep over her shivering, naked form, letting the silence stretch until the air in the room felt like lead. She tried to pull a corner of the duvet over her breasts, her hands shaking so violently she couldn't even grip the fabric. The image of her shivering in her own filth was now burned into the mind of the one person she desperately wanted to feel superior to. The space you wanted? You finally have it. It's a vast, infinite canyon between you and every person who ever respected you. Eva, let's go. I've seen all the clarity I can stomach for one lifetime. I turned and walked out, my footsteps heavy on the plush hotel carpet. Behind me, I could hear her desperate sobs turning into a long, drawn-out wail of pure agony. The break wasn't just over. Her life as she knew it was a burnt-out ruin. Anyway, make sure to hit that like button if you want to see how I meticulously dismantled her web of lies, and don't forget to subscribe for the full aftermath. This is the story of a man who stopped being a ghost in his own house. My life used to be a steady, predictable rhythm of work, gym, and coming home to a wife I thought was my anchor. But everything changed on a Saturday morning that felt far too ordinary for a catastrophe. I was standing in the kitchen, the smell of roasted coffee filling the air, when she walked in. She wasn't in her usual morning robe. She was dressed for travel, crisp jeans, a designer jacket, and she was clutching a duffel bag and her weekend suitcase.
I think I need a break. From us. From the marriage. I just need some time to figure things out. A few weeks, not forever. I feel like I'm losing myself in this routine.
She didn't look upset. Her voice was steady, like she was delivering a quarterly report. She'd practiced this. She expected me to crumble, to fall to my knees and ask what I'd done wrong. But I'd felt the ice creeping into our bed for months. I'd felt her eyes looking past me at dinner, as if I were a piece of furniture she was planning to replace. I stood there for a long second, watching her hands grip the handle of her suitcase. Okay. If you need space, take it.
No questions. You're not going to fight for me? You're just letting me walk out?
You already walked out weeks ago. You're just taking the luggage today. Go find whatever it is you're looking for. The door is right there. The lock clicked behind her, and the house felt twice as large and half as warm. I spent the first week observing the silence. I noticed the little things she'd taken. Not just clothes, but her favorite red mug with the chipped handle, the one she said was her lucky charm. You don't take a luck charm for a temporary break. You take it when you're building a new nest. I sat at the kitchen table every night, staring at the empty spot where that mug used to be, realizing that the woman I loved had been replaced by a stranger long before she actually left. The house felt unoccupied, like a museum dedicated to a dead relationship. On the 12th night, my phone buzzed at 11:40 p.m. Her name lit up the dark room. I let it ring, watching the screen glow like a warning light before I finally answered.
Hey, I wasn't sure if I should call. It's late. I remembered that documentary you watched last year, the one about Arctic wolves. You told me the alpha pair mates for life. Remember that? It made me think of us. Do you miss me? Is the house too quiet?
Are you calling to talk about wildlife? Or are you just checking to see if the bait is still on the hook?
You don't have to be so cold. I'm trying to bridge the gap here to see if there's anything left to save.
The gap you created? I'm not cold. I'm just clear. Don't call this number again unless it's about the house. Goodbye. I hung up and felt a surge of adrenaline. I opened my contacts and deleted her. I didn't want a ghost haunted by lies in my pocket. But the real clarity came on Monday, from Eva. She caught me in the elevator, her eyes sharp and observant.
I'm going to be blunt because I value your work, and I don't like seeing good men played for fools. I saw her at the Riverfield Music Hall Friday night. She wasn't alone. She was with a tall guy in a gray jacket. She was wearing that black silk camisole, the one you told everyone you bought her for her birthday. She was leaning into him like he was the center of her universe. They looked more than comfortable together.
I didn't break down. I asked Eva for a favor. I knew her greatest fear wasn't losing me. It was being seen as less than by women like Eva. I spent the next few days in a state of hyper-focus, gathering evidence, watching the GPS on our shared car account, and preparing for the final revelation. I reached out to a private investigator who confirmed that she hadn't gone to her mother's house at all. She was staying at a luxury rental during the week and meeting her lover at the Riverfield Hotel on weekends. I waited until I knew they were in the room. When I called Eva, I told her I needed a witness who she couldn't lie to. The raid was the most surgical act of justice I've ever performed. Seeing her nakedness exposed to the one person she desperately wanted to impress was a masterstroke of psychological ruin. She didn't just lose a husband, she lost the narrative of being the perfect, misunderstood wife. A week later, I was in the kitchen when the doorbell rang. I walked to the door and saw her through the glass. She looked haggard, her hair unwashed, her eyes sunken and red. She was clutching the frame of the door, her hands trembling as she looked at me, a pathetic shadow of the woman who had walked out 3 weeks ago.
Please, it was a mistake. He meant nothing. I was just lost. I was confused by the routine. I want to come home. I want our life back.
You didn't miss me. You missed the safety. You missed the house. But most of all, you can't stand that Eva knows exactly what you are. Every time you walk into a room, you'll wonder if she's told everyone. That's the space you earned. Here is your box. Your red mug is on top. Take it and go. I handed her the cardboard box filled with her satin slips and her perfumes. She looked at the box, then back at me, her lip trembling as the realization finally hit her. I stepped back and closed the door, watching her through the window as she walked down the driveway, her shoulders slumped, carrying the small box that now contained her entire life. I went back to the kitchen and watched the sun set. The house was silent again, but this time the silence didn't feel lonely. It felt like peace. She had chosen the space, and I had simply made sure it was as vast as her betrayal. I was finally home. Thank you for watching.